Hi, in today's video I'm going to talk about certain things that can happen to your skin during or straight after electrolysis. I've got my textbook here just to be more professional and just to make sure that I don't forget anything. The number one thing that I see the most is redness. Some people get a lot of redness and some people don't. It does vary depending on the skin's sensitivity and just the skin that we're dealing with. Also depends on the type of electrolysis that is used, the type of needle that's used, like the settings that are used, various different things. But redness is expected, it's very normal. You need to remember that we are trying to remove something that is naturally being produced in the body. You know, we're trying to destroy that root of the hair, destroy those cells, disconnect that hair from its blood supply, and yeah, so redness is expected. If you get an excess amount of redness, certain things that you can do is applying a cold compress. You can put ice not directly on the skin but wrap it in some tissue, using aftercare products, whichever one you choose, whether you choose aloe vera, witch hazel gel or antiseptic cream. These are going to help with calming the redness down. When you apply a cold compress onto your skin, I recommend that you don't leave it on the skin for too long, because then you can possibly get broken capillaries. Just put it on for a little bit, then take it off, let your skin rest, put it back on, and that way you won't be causing yourself any broken capillaries. So the next one I'm going to talk about is swelling. So some people get little bits of swelling, like little bumps, and some people the whole area gets swollen. If you've got a lot of hair and the hair is really dense, and it's the beginning of your journey, swelling does happen. A cold compress will help, the aftercare product will help, and then I'm going to suggest two more things that you could possibly try and see if it works for you. So one thing is changing the treatment plan slightly. So for example, if you have a lot of hair in the area and the hair is really dense, it's really close together, if I treat every single hair in that area, the skin is going to react a little bit more compared to if I leave gaps in between. So for example, if these are hairs, if I treat that one but leave that one, treat that one and then leave that one, and sort of leave gaps in between, some people's skin handles that a little bit better. Some people don't like the idea of that because they want the area to be cleared. They don't want one single hair in that area, and then they just deal with the swelling or the skin's reaction with the other things that I've suggested, cold compress and aftercare product. But some people, they don't want to deal with all of that swelling. They are happy to leave caps in between, and what they do is the skin heals a lot quicker and then they just book another session sooner to clear the area. Another thing that you can try is reducing the session time. Someone who has a 2-hour session is going to react more than someone who has a much shorter session. You can have shorter sessions but more regularly depending on how fast your skin is healing, but that tends to help as well. If your skin, if there's like an excess amount of swelling where the area is really swollen, make sure that it's not an allergic reaction. You should talk about any allergies that you may have with your electrologist, beauty therapist, just to make sure they're not using anything that you're allergic to, because you could be allergic to the type of needle that they're using, the gloves that they're using, or the aftercare product that they've chosen to use on you. Another thing that some people experience after electrolysis is scabbing. I've spoken about scabbing before on my channel. So some people don't get scabbing, some people get like a mild form, and then some people get quite severe scabbing. But whether it's mild or severe, the important thing is that you keep applying that aftercare product to help aid the skin so it can heal. Do not pick the scabs off because you will cause damage to your skin. Don't exfoliate, because if you exfoliate the skin when there are still scabs there that haven't healed, you can exfoliate these scabs off by accident. You can use a chemical exfoliator, because a chemical exfoliator is not physically scrubbing the skin, but don't use it straight away. You use it 4 days after your session. Depending on your skin's healing ability, scabs can heal within a few days, but it can take up to 2 weeks. When I get it, it can take about a week or two. My skin heals quite slowly, but I've had customers where They've experienced a little bit of scabbing, but after 3 days it's gone. Another thing that some people may experience are pustules. So little spots filled with pus. This normally happens if bacteria has gotten into the area. So for example, if you've touched the area, if you've put makeup on the area, if you were sweating, some people get this area done and then they put a face mask on and go home, and breathing that face mask, that friction, it's just more likely you're going to get those pustules. If the body does not destroy the bacteria, pus will develop, forming a pustule. This disappears after 1 to 2 days, leaving a honey-coloured crust. If the crust falls off naturally, the skin will be normal. If the crust is picked off, a pit will be left behind and will take longer to heal. I've experienced this before, and something that I couldn't help myself doing is popping it. I just couldn't help myself when I popped it, and what happened is then it was just red and it took a while for my skin to heal. And yeah, here it says you should just leave it and then it will form, it will sort of dry out, heal, and then it'll be fine. But if you play about with it, you are going to damage your skin. One thing that I figured out personally for myself, I'm kind of mixing professional and personal advice in here. One thing that I tried is avoiding water in the area. If you were sweating, obviously if it was summer, I had electrolysis done and I was sweating, I am going to wash the area because that's going to be worse. But if I haven't been sweating, if it's not summer and I've had a session done, I personally avoid water, and I find it does help avoid getting bacteria into the area. Don't ask me why, because you would think that washing the area is keeping it clean. Personally, keeping it dry has worked better for me. So if you find that you're quite prone to these white pus filled spots, try keeping the area just dry and avoiding water in the area just for the first day and see how that works out for you. One more thing that I personally experienced with my journey is, you can see it in my pictures when you look at my journey. There were these dark marks that were left behind, and these have all faded, and it almost looks like if you get a spot like acne, you know, it's sort of inflamed and red, and then it goes down, and then there's like a mark, and it takes ages, but eventually it does go. At the start of my journey, because I was having electrolysis done regularly, I was getting it done every 2 weeks, like my skin didn't look great. But then as I got my results from electrolysis and I didn't have to go in as often, eventually my skin had a lot more time to heal, and then the marks slowly started to fade. I wanted to make this video so that you are aware of what could come along with this journey, because people think, oh my god, they get really excited, they found this solution, I'm going to get electrolysis done, they start, and then they're trying to get rid of this unwanted hair that they're insecure about, and then when they experience these temporary side effects that come with it, it can be a little bit of a shock. It was for me when I first started electrolysis and I saw what my skin looked like after. It was a bit of a shock, and yeah, I just want to prepare you for what comes along, what could come along with your journey. If you are experiencing anything abnormal, or you're worried about anything, just talk to an electrologist or beauty therapist. They should give you some tips and advice on what you can do to help with this, whatever it may be. Right, I'm getting tired of talking now. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again.